What if I told you that most readers will be looking at your book in a sneak peek or flipping through it at a bookstore, making a decision on your first chapter in your writing style before they even buy the book? Most readers will be looking at your book and making a decision on whether or not they want to read it before they even get to your sick hook, before they get to your sick conclusion, before they get to the sick build-up, before they get to any of that. And what they're looking for are a few things in your very first chapter. And by the way, literary agents are looking for the same thing. So what is it? They want to make sure that you're starting with action and not the weather. They want to make sure you're introducing your character early and not just dumping backstory. There's a place for backstory, there's a place for revelation, there's a place for explanation, but it's not the first paragraph and it's not the first page. You want to start with action, momentum. Now, action doesn't have to be explosions and fireworks, car chases. It can be a fight between lovers. It can be, a quarrel. It could be, someone's invading the monastery and the guy's scribbling all the notes down because he wants to preserve the text before everything's burned. That's still action, right? But you don't want to start with a boring explanation. Another thing they're looking for is character motivation. They want to make sure that they can see the character motivation as early as possible, which, by the way, should be dictating everything your character does. They want to make sure that you are giving clear internalization of what the character cares about and how they're feeling and how they're reacting to things. They want to see the emotions. That's why I read a book. And within the first few chapters, they're looking for multiple plot hooks to be introduced. Now, they want it to be done subtly, not in their face. Sometimes it needs to be a little more clear than others. But that's what they're looking for. They're looking for starting with action. They're looking for an interesting world that's not just dumped on them, but they get to explore and have fun with. They're looking for multiple plot points to be subtly introduced along with the main plot, which should be introduced very early, if not on the first page. At least by the end of the first chapter, for sure. Or of some sort, right? Maybe the first few chapters, depending on what you're building. So that's what they're looking for. That's what they're looking for. Keep that in mind as you're starting to plot out and work on your story.